This is a Kirkendall Barrett presentation, darling.
Feed me, meow, meow, meow.
Because of this podcast, I'm a gay icon.
I'm so hot. I'm so good looking. My salad dressing is amazing.
Like the internet at large, there are things you can do on the internet besides porn, but most of it's porn.
A lifetime of Hallmark.
Well, hello everybody. It is your favorite day of the week. It is time for another episode of A Lifetime of Hallmark, where we talk about movies on both Lifetime and the Hallmark channel and try to make sense of them. I am Les Kirkendall Barrett. Hello, Jason Bowers.
Hello, Les Kirkendall Barrett.
And hello, Kurt Fitzpatrick.
Hello, Les Kirkendall Barrett, and hello, Jason Bowers.
So I am frazzled.
Oh, why?
What happened to Jason?
What do you mean?
He's frazzled. His signal is frazzled. You can't see this at home if you're just listening to it, but his whole screen has become like almost like some
collage.
Kind of
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
The image of you turned into some postmodern
like a collage.
Art. It was beautiful.
Maybe it was a bunch of bees scrambling the picture.
Bzz.
Yes.
Yeah.
Quite a buzz we have.
Oh.
Yeah.
We're recording. This is like, they don't know it at home, but we're recording early today. So the sun is shining outside and I'm more awake. I had to move mountains to watch this movie early enough. Mountains were moved.
Mountains were moved. Well, they were in the mountains.
Yeah.
Yep. That was a beautiful place. I want to go there.
Yes, I want to go to Malta too.
Yeah. This movie looked gorgeous.
It really did. And the food looked amazing.
I thought, imagine living there, like every morning you just walk outside and you see that.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And the mayor was hot.
Yeah, he was.
I really liked that mayor.
Mm-hmm.
I would get involved with politics if I lived in Malta.
I would like to go into his polling booth.
Yes.
Damn.
Yep. He looked like he was ready for fun.
Wow, you think so? I didn't get that impression. He's a very serious politician.
Yep, in cute blue suits.
I watched the Andrew McCarthy Brat Pack documentary. Did you watch that?
Okay, you know what?
Yeah,
I watched that too, and I have opinions.
Okay.
My first opinion is shut the fuck up and stop whining.
Wow.
You had a fucking major career.
Woo!
Stop whining.
See, I found him endearing.
Was Demi Moore whining? No.
Well, she's worth $200 million. Oh, I should have done the net worth. Oh well, I just gave it away. How much do you think Andrew McCarthy is worth?
Not that much. And the ultimate
more
shut
than you
the
think.
Fuck up. The ultimate shut the fuck up were Judd Nelson and Molly Ringwald.
They didn't even say anything.
And
Judd Nelson should have done it.
Well, I haven't watched it yet because I heard that Andrew's really bitter about that time.
Really bitter.
I heard that he's really bitter about that time and isn't even mentioned in the original article that coined that phrase Brat Pack. I heard they didn't even mention Anthony Michael Hall.
No, I agree. No. And not Anthony Michael Hall was not mentioned at all. And I would say out of all of them, he was one of the main ones during that time.
Well, he was certainly in a lot of those films.
Yeah.
From that era.
Well,
he was Molly Ringwald's age, but he was younger than the other ones. So he wouldn't have been like hanging out with the other guys.
But he was just as famous, if not more.
Yeah.
He was in 16 Candles.
Yeah, Breakfast Club and Weird Science.
I don't think he was in Breakfast Club.
He was.
Yeah, he was.
He was? Yeah. Oh, that's right. He was the nerd.
Yeah. I thought, I didn't find him whiny. I thought Andrew McCarthy, I thought he was kind of I thought it was interesting, the idea of reckoning with your past, reconnecting with people who had that same experience, but they didn't, of course, because they were, they processed it a whole different way. And clearly Rob Lowe and Demi Moore were over it because they had success after that, whereas Andrew McCarthy was kind of that was his primary success that we saw. He had success in other things afterwards, but Yeah.
But then, as opposed to Andrew McCarthy, I consider Demi Moore. Ali Sheedy, I'm not too sure, only because I'm not familiar. Isn't she more of a writer now?
No, she's still.
I don't know.
She's recurred on Grey's Anatomy for years, I think.
Oh, does she?
Yeah.
Okay, good for her.
Well, then you know what? I'll lump her in with this too. So I would say Demi Moore, Ali Sheedy, and Rob Lowe, to a certain extent, are jobbing actors. Demi Moore not so much, but I consider Rob Lowe like a jobbing actor, where he'll do TV, he'll do smaller films, he'll do all sorts of different things.
Yeah, he's as a jobbing actor, he's tremendously successsul then.
Yeah, but he'll do different, like he'll do a variety of things, and even Demi Moore with, like, you know, now that she was in the Ryan Murphy thing, she'll do different things as well.
Yeah.
Well, most people who have success in movies, they have a run. But there's a rare time somebody might have like a second run. But usually people have a run, and people's careers change, people change, the industry changes. So,
and Molly Ringwald is a jobbing actor as well.
Yeah.
Because she does like a bunch of different things. And I heard her, she was on a podcast a couple of weeks ago, and she talked about not doing this documentary, but she was also talking about how, like she's open to doing smaller things. She also translates books in French.
Okay.
But, you know, I think part of Andrew's bitterness is the fact that he wanted to maintain that megastardom that he had before.
I think there is a thing with some performers that feel a bit of entitlement to maintain a certain level of success. Like, oh, I've had this, so it should just stay there. And that's not how it works.
But he was young then. You figure if that happened to you when you were super young, you might have that in your head that, oh, this isn't going to end.
Well, you would hope that eventually you would grow as a person and realize, well, it does end. So pick myself up and move on.
I hope so.
Right.
Yeah.
And to an extent, to mention once again, like Rob Lowe, he accepted that, okay, I can still maintain the stardom to an extent. I just need to change. I just need to change genres.
Right.
I don't know if I'm coming up with the right word, but I need to take smaller things, or I need to do TV, or he did like the Atkins commercial.
Yeah. Well, he had to evolve.
But, you know,
he had to evolve along with how the industry was. So he did more TV work, or he do like smaller roles in movies, or, you know, I think he did some like reality stuff even.
Well, what's interesting about Rob Lowe is Rob Lowe was sort of an early template of a movie actor, you know, quote unquote movie actor that did a TV show sort of at the beginning of the whole concept of prestige TV. Now it's super common for actors to do TV because you have these smaller seasons and it's easier to manage.
Right. Yeah. And you know, Kurt and I, you know, Kurt, you and I are not nearly that level, but we're jobbing actors, you know. That's why I'm frazzled, because I'm going to Atlanta to do a show. But you learn, you take what you get. Yeah. You got it. You take what
I mean, I definitely, as much as I can, I definitely make part of my living as an actor, as meager as it may be. But I understand.
But, you know, so I think part of Andrew McCarthy's bitterness was the fact that
therapy.
Also he felt that he should be Tom Cruise.
Well, like I said, I looked at it in terms of like a therapeutic experience that he was having. Now that might turn people off. You could look at that as whiny.
I think both can be true too, because isn't he a producer on the doc?
It's his documentary. He directed it. Yeah.
So that makes sense that it would be therapeutic for him to go through
that was his whole idea. He was kind of like reconnecting with it. Yeah.
Because he makes his living directing pretty much, right?
I believe so,
He's also a travel writer. He does that too.
Oh. Okay. And
he still acts sometimes.
And I've seen his name. I've seen his name attached to some, like, as a director. Mm-hmm. I can't remember off the bat exactly what, but I've seen his name attached to stuff that's not shabby. Yeah, it's like decent stuff.
Yeah, he directed an episode of The Blacklist that I worked on.
So it's not like he's living at he like lost all of his money and he's living at like Park La Brea or something, and he's struggling to make ends meet. Even that I would understand more than, dude, you still have a career. It's not like, because there are people out there who have lost their careers and their money and they're eking by. That I would understand being a little more bitter than what, his bitterness is. So it's like, dude, you're still making a living doing it. And judging from what I saw, not a bad one.
Doing okay.
All right. Well, I wonder, as a travel writer, if you would write about Malta. You brought that around? Yeah, brought that.
Judgy, I know. Jason, very good. Yeah, actually, from what I saw from this movie, I absolutely would. And do you know who needs to be in Malta? And I think who would do very well in Malta and would wear various outfits? Kurt, do you have any Blac Chyna news?
Doing a piece of China.
China.
I'm talking China.
The Blac Chyna Report. Here's Kurt Fitzpatrick.
All right, yes, our favorite member of the Brat Pack, Blac Chyna. Have you ever wondered?
Oh my God, her fan army should be called the Blac Pack.
Yes,
spelled BLAC.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, there was a Black Pack. Remember Eddie Murphy and Arsenio? They called themselves the Black Pack.
Oh, did they? Okay.
Robert Townsend. Yeah.
Actually,
but in like the 80s. Okay, so have you ever wondered about Blac Chyna's ethnicity? Have you ever considered her multicultural family history? Well, this is from Yahoo Entertainment. They talk a little bit about. I'll read some of this. People can look this up on their own if they want, but I'll read part of this. They talk a little bit about Tokyo Toni. That, of course, is Blac Chyna's mother. Her real name is Shalana Jones Hunter. Now, she isn't a celebrity in the same right as her daughter, but she is a social media personality who frequently blogs who frequents blogs like The Shade Room and The Neighborhood Talk with her antics. The 52-year-old hails from the Dominican Republic, but moved to America with her family when she became pregnant as a teenager. Toni met her only child's dad, Eric Holland, at a Macy's department store, and it didn't take long for them to get intimate. She claimed...
Wait. That's all we need. That's the story right there.
You want me to stop there? I could.
Does that mean that like they met at a Macy's and they like hooked up in a dressing room there? What does that mean?
I think they got recruited to carry around Snoopy on Thanksgiving, and that's, no, I don't know. They work at the Macy's department store, and it didn't take, like we said. Now, she claims the sex wasn't great, but it was enough for them to conceive White. Unfortunately, the then 16-year-old Toni didn't know about Holland's wife and family. Oh boy! Whoa! While chatting with Real Life Productions, the reality star, reality share alleged that she used to sell drugs while paying her mother to look after her little girl. I guess this is Tokyo Toni used to do this. At the time, I can't tell no lie, I was selling a little cocoa leaf and things like that. So I ain't had no issues with money ever to this day. Toni, who spent time working as an exotic dancer, told the outlet she doesn't perform in strip clubs anymore, but the mother of one still keeps busy creating content for platforms like TikTok and Instagram. Okay, so it says in recent, some of this gets a little hairy. Let's talk a little bit about Blac Chyna's dad, Eric Holland, then we can move on.
Okay.
Okay, so What does Blac Chyna's ethnicity look like when we factor in her father's genes? Because we just covered her Dominican heritage. Well, not much is known about Eric Holland's life in the present, as he prefers to live privately, though Daily Mail did uncover his lengthy criminal past. According to the outlet, Eric has a string of children with a variety of other women, and Chyna is believed to have two half-sisters and two half-brothers and 9 half-sisters, who are mostly based in the Maryland and Virginia areas. Shout out to Maryland and Virginia. Holland was married with kids when he impregnated a teenage hunter, but by the time her daughter was 8, the young woman made it her mission to hunt him down and answer Chyna's questions. I'm a little bit lost on that. All right.
This legit sounds like AI wrote it, and they probably fact-checked it, but it sounds like it was written by AI.
Well, anyway, Answers Africa describes Blac Chyna's ethnicity as African-American with Latina ancestry, although her nationality is American, as she was born in Washington, D.C. So that's what's going on with Blac Chyna's ethnicity. That
was a really, really, really long article to get to what was one sentence.
Well, it's more than that. I skimmed through it.
Yeah. Wow.
It's covering all Blac Chyna's history, her ethnicity, her genealogy.
I do like the use of she's selling cocoa leaf.
Yeah, there's some good things. So there's some information there that we hadn't heard before.
I like that it sort of traces the genealogy very similar to the way this movie traced architecture through bees.
Yes.
I wanted to work in that her father was actually actor Andrew McCarthy. And so
I would love that.
To tie it back into the Brat Pack.
Could you imagine that documentary?
That revelation. Yeah, that's the follow-up.
Andrew McCarthy finding his daughter Blac Chyna.
I want to know the story of how Andrew McCarthy and Tokyo Toni met, at the Macy's.
At the Macy's.
A Hard Rock Cafe.
He went to Macy's to buy a pair of shoes for the. Well, actually, how old is Blac Chyna? She's only in her 30s.
Yeah, she's a young lady.
In the late, he went to go buy shoes to go see the premiere of
St. Elmo's Fire.
Some kid and play movie
for Mannequin.
I never saw Mannequin.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
it's enjoyable.
Kurt Fitzpatrick.
It's one of the few big hits of the 80s I've never seen. Yeah,
with Samantha Jones from Sex and the City.
Yeah.
No. The guy from Designing Women was in that too, right?
Taylor,
yes.
Plays Hollywood.
Anthony Bouvier.
I should watch it. I think there's a sequel to it too.
There is.
Yes, there is.
Mannequin 2 on the Move, starring William Ragsdale and Christy Swanson.
But Meshach Taylor was back.
Mm-hmm.
Meshach Taylor, that's right. Yeah.
I don't know if you could make that movie.
Well,
today.
No. He is offensively problematically gay.
Just got a pillow.
Hollywood Montrose.
I remember. I must have seen some scenes from it because I do remember that character. Yeah, it was kind of a.
Well, also I think they're in the
crazy
video for the Starship song.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Okay, well let's get into this movie.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Okay, so I was like at first I thought before they said anything I thought it was Grease.
Oh, we should say the name of the movie. I don't think we actually said it.
Love and Honey.
Hallmark.
Les, you thought this was the movie Grease?
No, I thought they were in Grease.
Oh, that's different. Okay.
and in my notes I was like, because in my notes I wrote, I love this, I want to go to Greece because the scenery they were showing was amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to go to this place. Malta. I didn't have time to look it up. Where's Malta? Is it nearby?
It's near Greece, right?
Yeah,
it's near Greece. Okay. Can't drive.
Didn't France, like Napoleon or someone like that, at one time take over Malta? I think
they've been occupied by many different countries. They hinted at that in the movie at one point.
Yeah.
It looks desirable.
So we see this woman. So it is a Hallmark movie, So I guess she could be considered very busy because she was riding her scooter with purpose.
Yeah. Well, she was busy. They said over and over how busy she was. So
yeah. So she's on this scooter like Batgirl. She was on a mission.
Yeah.
And then it was cutting between her and a hot guy giving a lecture.
Hot professor.
And everybody in that class were really into it.
Yeah. Look at him. Look at him.
Yeah.
I would have been into it too.
Yeah.
They were hanging on every word.
Yeah. I would be getting A's in that class because I would pay attention because he was hot.
You wouldn't have been able to get up to write on the board.
True. No, I would not.
True.
I would not. So he's giving like a history lesson. And
archaeology. He's like Indiana Jones.
Like an archaeology lesson.
Yep.
And he's talking about Malta. So that's when I figured out, they're in Malta because he's talking about Malta.
He's an academic.
And so he's talking to his boss, and it turns out that he actually is the most popular professor of archaeology in his department.
Yeah, and he's from America. Austin. He's from America, but he's there teaching for a year.
Yeah, and his name is Austin.
Mm-hmm.
And so his boss is talking about this report due because they want to get some kind of funding. So this report is due in a week. And if he gets this report in a week, not only will they get funding, he'll get tenure, which for a college professor, tenure is like the ultimate thing you want.
Yeah.
Because that basically means you have a job for life and you can never be fired.
You can fuck off and nobody cares.
Nice.
Right.
Spend your time in the rubber room.
So, and this guy's young. This guy's probably in his 30s.
Yeah, probably.
So if he gets this tenure, he's set for life, basically.
Nice.
So our Hallmark lady, Ava, is driving. She's still driving on her scooter. And Austin is walking down the street and she almost hits Austin. But not only does she almost hit Austin, Austin causes like a bike accident. Like she goes down.
She takes a spill on her Vespa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
broke her moped.
Right. Well, and she gets up and she's wearing okay, so this is wear a helmet because she was wearing a helmet. And so she was not hurt. She looked great. And then Austin starts kind of mansplaining to her.
He was a dick.
Yeah.
You dick!
He really was.
Fault.
Because he apologized and then immediately made it her fault. He was gaslighting her.
He told her to slow down.
Yeah.
But then she said she wishes she hit him. That's you shouldn't be saying stuff like that. That's bad karma.
Well, she was a Spitfire, Eva. And so then she drives away. She hates him. And then we see her and she's giving a talk. Like she's in a meeting and she's giving a talk. And we find it. Oh,
isn't she like a tour guide, right? She's kind of giving like a
no. At this point, it's some bee alliance, and so it's just like all the people that are into the bees in Malta, because the bees are everything there apparently. Right. And so they're all just like discussing some festival that's coming up this weekend, the Port Grace Honey Festival, and then they're talking about how they need a marquee event for the event that is this weekend.
Right. And the funny thing is so Jason and I have this friend who has bees. Yeah. And so a lot of this knowledge in this movie, I actually knew because of talking to our friend.
I didn't know. So it's actually a couple. So our friend Andrew is the one that has bees and a beekeeper. His husband, Ben, is Maltese.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
they're like a living embodiment of this movie.
Movie.
They should watch this movie.
But it was kind of cool because a lot of the stuff that Andrew told me, actually they verified in this movie.
Yeah. But we find ourselves in conversations about beekeeping more often than you would think that one would be in a conversation about beekeeping.
Yeah.
I was once at dinner with them and a few other friends. There were, I think, 6 of us at the table, and Andrew was on one side of the table, Ben was on the other, and at one point I turned to my friend Michelle. I was like, "Do you realize that there are 2 unrelated conversations about beekeeping happening on either side of us right now?"
Well,
because the bees, it sounds like Game of Thrones. Those bees, actually.
Yeah. Wow.
Seriously, it really does. Oh, so the city that they're in is called Port Grace, and they're having a honey festival this weekend. Yeah. And they want this honey festival to put Port Grace on the map.
Good luck.
And then she's talking to this other guy who his bees need a new queen.
Yeah.
And so she's going to get him one.
Yeah.
So then we see Eva, she's talking to the bees, telling them about how she almost ran over this guy.
Yeah. This was a nice just writing touch in this scene where she's talking to the bees. Her sister walks out and calls her out for not wearing the beekeeping gear. And I thought that was a really smart choice so that they didn't have to be in the stupid bee gear the entire movie. They can actually show their stars in the movie looking cute.
But she had cute little beekeeping outfits.
She did, but they didn't want to have her in that the entire movie. It looks like a hazmat suit.
Right.
Yeah. That's something from the pandemic.
So her sister Chloe makes fun of her. And then we find out that also Chloe was up for a promotion but didn't get. And so Chloe suggests that Eva start doing things for the apiary, like giving tours and like giving bee tours and honey tours. Mm-hmm. And then this is where we hear our first bee pun.
There are many.
What was the first one?
A bee-emergency.
Bee-emergency. There are bees in the library. There were at least 4 that I counted. Like this, it could have been a drinking game.
So then Eva's friend, who's also cute, like this cute woman, it like starts making fun of her because of her car. Because her car is very junky.
Really? It's rude.
Yeah. And then her friend is talking about the festivities and the festival. And Eva's talking to someone about planting bee-friendly flowers. And her friend is like, hey, this American archaeology professor is here and he's single and I want to set you up with him because he's single and he's cute and you need to start dating again.
We should also mention that as they were talking about the planting of the flowers and stuff, they're trying to figure out a time to do that. And we learned that Ava is, and I quote, busy as a bee.
Right.
Did they say that?
Yeah, sure did.
Yes.
I didn't write any of those in my notes. These bee puns. Well, busy as a bee. Is that a pun? Not really.
Not a pun. It's a turn of phrase that they shoehorned into the movie. Didn't necessarily need to be there.
Busy as a bee. Well, I guess the bees are busy.
Yeah.
Right. So then we see Austin. He's in his office and the bees are in his office and he's like freaking out. And he tries to...
That gives me the heebie-jeebies looking at bees too.
Yeah,
like,
who, you?
Yeah, it makes me like kind of skin crawl a little bit.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, I don't want bees on me. I'm like, ugh, I don't want any bees on me.
Well, I mean, there are people who are highly allergic to bees and it can kill them.
I was told when I was really young that I might be allergic to bees because they did like allergy testing on me. So I've avoided them like the plague. I don't think I've ever been stung, but I don't know if I'm actually allergic to bees. Right. But I always freak out when I'm around them.
Well, because a bee allergy is one allergy that, like, if you get stung, it might not go so well.
Well, yeah,
for you.
ask Macaulay Culkin in what was that movie?
My Girl.
My Girl.
Yeah.
So I do understand if people suspect that they might be allergic. I do understand them freaking out.
If they might be allergic?
Bees.
Aquila and the bee. I think that was another bee problem.
I saw her perform at Gay Pride a few weeks ago. Keke Palmer. That was her first movie.
Okay.
So he tries to swat the bee. Eva catches him trying to swat the bee, and she gets pissed. And she's like, listen, bees in Malta, if you hit that bee, that's a crime. Because the bees are protected legally here.
Yeah.
You go to jail for that. Or is it like a misdemeanor?
I guess. And then we find out that the bees are coming into the house because there's a hole in, or actually the office. It was in the office because there was a hole in their window.
Did she drop one of his books? He had like an antique book, and she like passively aggressively knocked it over.
Yep.
Yeah. She was very careless with these ancient documents that were on his desk.
Well, she grabbed a hold of like a map that was like 400 years old.
Yeah.
It's not hers, and she wouldn't give it back.
She was using it to like catch a bee.
Yeah, she's swatting the bee with it.
Yeah, and took the bee outside.
Let me swat the bee with this original King James Bible.
And then we find out
that
the bee was a drone because it had no stinger. But I found out from Andrew that it takes bees like 18 days to grow their stinger. So they don't have a stinger for 18 days anyway.
Oh.
Yeah, but once they have it, you're in trouble.
And then when they get their stinger, they're kind of on the road to death at that point.
Yeah, let me tell you something. They're flying around outside out here. They're as big as a fist. I don't want those things near me.
And then she's talking to Austin because she's like, well, there's got to be a hive near here. And he's like, well, what do you mean? And she's like, bees only go like a mile away from their home, which I also knew from our friend.
Those bees start flying around my head. It looks like the solar system.
Are you sure those aren't cicadas? Is it cicada season right now?
Well, some of them are lightning bugs. They hop in there too. Yeah, lightning bugs hop in there.
And they wake up after every 7 years, right?
Yeah, isn't the cicadas problem supposed to be really, really big this year?
Yes.
It's all a problem. Here comes the police. Oh, they
because you swatted a bee.
Yeah,
I think they swatted a bee in Malta.
So then we find out that there's like this the beehive is on this wall.
Yeah.
And then Austin is there, and Austin is like, "Oh wow, this wall could have actually been something. It could have been something different."
Yeah, realize it's like it almost like it's an old building built onto an older building, and there's like scraping the wall, and he just about creams his pants when he sees that there's like something under the paint there. He was so excited.
Yeah.
He hugs her. Is that where he like hugs her? And at one point, just like she doesn't expect a hug. She's like, "Ooh, with some attention."
Yeah.
Well, he was cute though. And so this wall turns out to be an ancient painting. And so then they call the hot mayor, who's really hot.
Yeah. Hot mayor who's really hot.
And then the hot mayor tells Austin, okay, because Austin says he's an archaeologist, but the hot mayor is like, I need to check your credentials.
Yeah. Because right now you have a hard-on, and it's making me uncomfortable.
Right.
Yeah. You need to check your drawers.
Yeah. And so then he says, okay, I'll let you do your research, but Eva has to supervise you.
Yeah. Is this where they use the phrase bee enthusiast?
Yes.
That doesn't make any sense, though. Enthusiast. I don't know.
This movie was very bee-lagered.
Yes. Just let it be.
So then, later,
tell you what I rate this movie.
Eva is talking to Austin. Austin comes up and he wants to do some research, but Eva says that I have a tour right now. And Austin's like, well, I'll take your tour. And Eva's like, well, it's full. And then Eva's sister's like, no, it's not. And so basically throws her under the bus.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And it's a honeymoon tour.
Oh, yeah.
And so she's giving the tours.
By the way, missed opportunity that calling it a honeymoon tour, they didn't put the emphasis on the word honey.
Right.
Well, maybe that was... I didn't get it either, but maybe that's what we were supposed to pick up on.
Maybe.
And so then one of the people asked, do bees fall in love?
Yeah.
And then we also find out that at least there, or at least in Malta, it was called a honeymoon because people, like after they got married, they would drink honey mead for 30 days after their wedding.
All right. Whatever works.
Yeah.
So then they go to try some honey, and Austin tells her he doesn't like honey.
No.
And then we find out that Austin is allergic to bees.
Oh, he's allergic.
Yeah. He said not deadly. He said he won't die, but he does blow up. His face blows up.
Oh, I remember he said he didn't like honey.
Yeah.
The allergic part. That's scary.
Yeah, he says he's allergic to bees. Ooh. So then Austin is looking at stuff, and then he finds like these artifacts, and it's like a gold leaf.
Yeah, this movie was really funny to me because around these potential archaeological discoveries, there would just be like stuff just laying on the ground that were clues. Like, oh, there's gold leaf on this piece of rock just sitting there that no one's noticed before. They did this throughout the movie. They would just like find shit on the ground. Like that, and it's like stuff like that were thousands of years old. It just makes you wonder, like, did none of the archaeologists before Austin think to like look at the ground?
They were lazy. They mostly did research, I guess, inside.
Yeah.
And then they were this thing that they needed to find called the Golden House.
Golden House. So, well, they found the golden leaf on a bunch of pieces of rocks. They just lined up a bunch of rocks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he asks Eva to help him. She's like, I'm not helping you. He's like, come on, I really need your help, and I'll totally work around your schedule.
Yeah, that's nice of him.
And so the next morning, Eva's talking to her sister. She's telling her sister the tour actually went well.
Mm-hmm.
And her sister's like, listen, this guy's cute. You need to go for it. And then the hot mayor shows up.
Well, also, didn't they refer to this treasure map as a wild bee chase?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
Yes.
I found all this stuff about golden leaves and golden place and all this stuff. I found it very convoluted.
There was so much exposition in this movie that needed to be there because the average person watching this isn't going to know about beekeeping or archaeology enough to understand the plot of the movie. So they had to really explain it, but it was too much.
Overdone. Yeah. And I couldn't. I had to power through it, or else I would have gone back. So let me try to get this straight now. I mean, I guess I got the gist. I guess that's all we needed.
So then the hot mayor shows up, and Eva was supposed to help him come up with a plan for the festival. And so she totally forgot about it. She's like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. You know what? My sister will help you.
Yeah.
And the sister and the mayor actually liked each other anyway. Yeah. You could tell. So then Eva goes into the city, and Austin is playing checkers with this old guy. And Austin starts trying to speak Maltese, but he thinks he's saying hello, but he's actually saying, I smell like fish. So then Austin and Eva are driving in Eva's beat up car, and her car is making its noise. And Austin is like, you need to get your car serviced.
And again, was a dick about it.
You dick!
Well, she's never changed the oil.
No, but he was just like mansplaining to her. It's like, okay, you hear the noise, I get that, but Like, she's doing you a favor, driving you around. You could shut the fuck up.
Right. Exactly.
Well, somebody's got to explain to her that you have to change the oil of your vehicle. I mean, nobody's explained to her anything.
So they go to this old city and they find this painting, and there's a honeybird in the painting.
Oh.
And then we find out that this paint, like the Greeks painted this painting, but someone covered it up.
The Knights.
Yeah. And then Austin gets a call from his boss, and his boss is like, listen, have you done that proposal yet? Time is running out. You only have a few days. You better do it.
We also learned that they're talking about Ava and Chloe's mom in the past tense.
I see dead people.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, she died.
Yeah. So then they go to this honey tasting, and Austin is like, I don't like honey because the honey that I grew up with wasn't sweet, and it came in like plastic bottles.
Oh, the little bear.
Yeah, the plastic bear.
Yeah, but a little bear.
I like that little bear.
Same.
Any chance people get, they're putting down that little honey bear, and I'm here for it.
Because, Abe was like, wait, that's the honey you eat? No.
Yeah, I had somebody tell me that you're not supposed to have can't have the honey, the little bear. So I love that little bear.
Same.
Anyway.
And then she tells him, she's like, honey comes in different flavors, and, you're missing out.
I'd have some honey.
And he's helping her load honey, and you could tell that they like each other because they start giving each other the Hallmark look.
Yeah.
Well, he's taking her apron off.
No.
Yes.
Puts it on. He helps her tie it, and it's this like erotic moment.
It's a sensual moment, and then she undresses him by taking off his apron.
Yeah. And there's some line about, "I know how you can thank me."
Oh, I know how you can spank me is more like it.
This is Hallmark porn.
Ooh, I undressed a cupcake the other day. I had a cupcake, and you have to, the little like wrapper on it.
Yeah.
I felt it was like undressing it.
Hell yeah.
You vulnerable little cake.
But then for a Hallmark movie, this movie turns out to be kind of scandalous for a Hallmark movie.
Oh, yeah.
Things got, yeah. Oh, is this the part where they start like going through their history?
Yeah, because then they're driving in the truck, and then the truck broke down, and Austin is telling Eva about Michigan, and Eva is telling Austin about her life, and Eva says her parents were divorced.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm.
The first of several mentions of divorced couples in this movie.
Yeah, it gets worse.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, they are talking, the mechanic. Wait, oh, no, they go to the
Abraham, who's the guy that needed the queen bee.
Yeah. So they brought the queen to Abraham, and then once again, Austin tries his Maltese and once again says that he smells like fish, and the guy's like, oh, okay, whatever. And then Abraham invites them to supper, but they said that they can't stay. But Abraham has like this tower on his land. And so they go to the tower, and this painting is a Greek painting, but it was probably painted during the Roman times when Romans occupied Malta. And
again, more artifacts just laying on the ground.
Yeah, just like ancient pottery. There's painting, there's pottery.
Piece of a cup, like an old cup.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then like she trips, Austin catches her, and then James, the mechanic, says, well, the reason why your truck broke down is because you're out of oil. And so then he's like, well, she's like, first Ava was like, well, I'll call my sister to pick me up. But then she tries to call her sister, and her sister's not answering her phone.
Oh.
And so then
Take a bus.
So then, they were going to try to take a bus, but then James is like, well, the bus doesn't go until tomorrow. And he's like, well, he's like, my uncle has a spare room. And they're like, we need 2 rooms. And he's like, well, he's got 2 rooms.
I wouldn't have said that. I would have been,
Right.
So then they go to...
Austin should have gone to Ava's honey tasting. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know.
Right.
Well, I'm thinking it too.
So they sit down for dinner, and this dinner looks amazing.
Didn't it?
So good.
This was the dinner.
It was like a scene out of a cooking show.
Yeah. And they did close-ups of all the food.
Mm-hmm.
They introduced the items at the meal as if they were listing off the nominees of the best musical at the Tony Awards. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was a full, and this stuff looked good. I don't like seafood, but there was some meat dish. Man, I was about ready to my computer screen.
Yeah.
And some kind of cheese.
Yeah.
I bit the corner of my computer screen when I saw it.
They were one click away from just posting the recipes on the screen during this scene.
Yeah.
This was when I was aroused.
Yeah. Were you as aroused as someone that found a painting under a wall? Like Austin?
Yeah. I'd just be, if I had all that excitement going on, you're not supposed to have like a 12-hour erection. You've got to go to the hospital. I'd be a little worried about the healthcare system over there. But anyway, I digress.
Actually, no, I bet they have really good healthcare over there, and I bet it's free.
Yeah.
Oh, good. I might move there. I like that.
So then they're talking to Abraham, and Abraham is telling them the history of the tower and how the tower was actually infiltrated by pirates. And so he's saying how the story, like the legends they hear, might not be true because of the pirates. And the pirates might have like spun stories.
Now, were these like old school pirates with like peg legs? I don't know if people say peg leg anymore, but they did in the pirate days. Little parrots.
Yes.
Eye patches.
Yep.
Yeah, that thing. Yeah.
Like a bandana.
You gotta hold on to your traditions.
Puffy shirt.
Yep. Bluebeard, Shmee, all of the pirates.
Yeah.
So then it's in the evening, and Eva and Austin are going for a walk, and Abraham and his wife are like watching them out of the window.
Pervs.
Really?
I thought it was pervy.
It is. No, I agree.
Because then Eva was like, "Look, they're watching us."
Yeah.
It's kind of creepy.
They look like they're looking at a painting they just found.
So then they're walking.
Might not have cable.
They're walking, right?
It's kind of remote area.
They're walking, and then Austin just looks at her and gives her a kiss.
Nice.
Yeah.
That time.
And then I checked the time of the movie because I was like, "Wait a minute, the movie's not over."
So did I. It was an hour 10 into the movie. Past the halfway mark, but not at the end.
I was like, "Oh shit."
Why is he apologizing? You're in that situation. You don't apologize. I'm sorry. No. I'd be like, hey.
Well, he didn't act like
apologize.
he just planted one on her.
Yeah.
That's okay.
And she didn't mind.
No. But he did try to show her his peg leg too.
Yes.
That's right.
He's like, So then the next day, the boss calls, and the boss is like, "Listen, dude, I need that proposal. Get to work."
He was actually pretty lax about it.
And then Chloe calls, and Chloe's like, "You didn't come home last night."
They were both giving each other shit about their respective nights with handsome men.
Right.
Yeah. Where nothing happens.
No.
Because then it comes out the Chloe was like, "Oh, well, yeah, I was with the mayor, the hot mayor."
Yeah, Chloe didn't answer her phone, so Chloe may have been shown the mayor's polling place.
Well, they're supposed to be brainstorming, but they transitioned to lap storming.
Yeah.
There's a new word.
This was my favorite beat in the entire movie, and it was so simple, and it made me laugh so much. James gets a text about the infrared machine that he needs, because Michael said that he would help him find it, and the text just came from infrared guy. Like, I just love that, like, in archaeology world, it's like, I've got an infrared guy. You need one.
The infrared guy.
Yeah, infrared guy. It's saved in his film that way.
And then, so the next day, like later that morning, Eva runs into Austin and he's being awkward. And Eva's like, it was just a kiss. Come on, dude. Chill out.
Yeah.
And then, his infrared machine, he needs to go and get his infrared machine. And so he was being weird, and she's like, no, I'll take you. And that's when she's like, chill out, it was just a kiss. What are you being so weird for?
Yeah.
You don't bring it up.
So they get there early. So they hang out and walk around. And this is where we find out that the reason why the doors all had different colors was because the color of your door told what was stored in your house.
Similar to the bandanas in the gay community.
Yes.
Oh.
But something is stored somewhere else.
Yeah. Not your house.
Or you do the storing.
Yeah.
Kurt's like, what?
No, I don't know.
Oh, there's a story.
Nope. When I start asking questions, it gets hairy.
There's a bandana for that.
There is.
For what?
Kurt's like,
Harry.
Oh, we think we talked about this before because I ended up looking this up. Yeah, I know. I think I know what you're talking about.
I love it. Kurt's like, I'm not even gonna ask.
No, was the bandana something from like years ago that was like supposed to identify
the hanky code?
What you're into, essentially.
That's right. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank God I didn't retain that information.
It was like gay Morse code.
Yep. Interesting.
Is this where we found where Austin just casually mentions he has an ex-wife?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Who had an affair?
Yes.
She didn't last long.
No.
She hooked up with her interpreter.
Yeah.
In Egypt. Oh no, he went to Egypt. Oh no.
She went to Egypt.
They went to Egypt together.
She didn't last long with him at all.
No.
She found interest in someone else very, very quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's too bad. He's a good guy.
Yeah, and then we find out that Eva was also married, but she was married longer. She was married for 10 years, and she moved to England with her husband, but her mom got sick. And so she came home to take care of her mom, and her husband dumped her while she was at home taking care of her sick mother.
So
what a dick.
Yeah.
I know.
Dick!
3 divorces mentioned in this movie. 3.
In like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
That's kind of shitty what he did.
Yeah. Oh no, it was really shitty. Because he totally just dumped her while she was like helping her mom out.
Great.
So then they get the infrared machine, and it's like a mini machine.
It looks like a one of those pricing guns at the grocery store.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like a speed camera. Not the speed camera. The speed
clicker
limit thing.
gun.
Yeah.
But then we find out that they still need a battery for it, and the battery doesn't come until tomorrow.
What kind of shitty infrared guys sends you an infrared machine? Is like, you got to get the battery separate.
Right. And then the battery was supposed to come tomorrow, but then Eva's like, there's a big festival tomorrow, so even though it's supposed to come tomorrow, you probably won't get it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Why?
And then Austin is like, oh shit, I need to get my proposal done like the day after tomorrow. Like it needs to be there. And then Chloe calls Eva and is like, oh no, our friend, because they had this older friend, the one who told Austin
Paulo, yeah.
About Paulo, the one who taught Austin how to say I smell like fish in Maltese.
Yeah. They were playing checkers or backgammon or something.
Yeah, and that was the guy he was playing checkers with as well. he was helping Chloe out and he fell off of a ladder.
Because Ava wasn't there to help at the festival. So David's fault.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
So they rushed to the hospital, and it turns out that this guy was faking Austin out because he spoke English the entire time.
Yeah, a little rude.
And so then Austin goes back to the B&B with his infrared machine. Chloe's upset because the guy fell. And
Is that one of those things? Do you use those infrared machines to see like what's on the walls in motels?
No, that's a black light.
That's black light.
Which, if they use a black light in this movie, anytime Austin was around a painting, wow.
Right.
Clearly see.
Right.
Yeah.
See what's going on, yeah.
So Chloe's sitting in this field. She's really upset. Ava goes to talk to her, and it turns out that's the field that their mom used to take them. Mm. And then that's where we find out they talk about their mom being dead.
I see dead people.
Yeah, like a year ago she died.
And then this is like, and then Chloe's like really triggered from the guy falling off the ladder, because then she's talking about how she missed her mom. And then Eva apologizes to Chloe because she's like, you know what? I haven't been spending time with you. And then Chloe's like, you're fine. Oh, and by the way, I got that job and I really did get that promotion. I turned it down so I could stay here and work at the apiary and help you with the bees because I want to spend more time with you. And then Eva's like, oh, well, I bet you want to spend more time with Matthew, the hot mayor, as well, because you've been helping him a lot.
The hot mayor was really hot.
He was really hot. I'd move to Malta, too, for that guy.
Yeah, same.
You guys really like this mayor.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So
yeah, I don't see it. I don't know what's so better looking about him than, like,
he had big, fat, kissable lips.
Dimples.
Yeah, you like that.
Nice tight suits. That accent.
Yes. Yes. He looked like he had something going on under that suit.
Mm-hmm.
And he looked like he was nice, too. Mm-hmm. He looked like a nice guy, too.
Yeah. Sweet like honey.
Yes. Bzz. Oh. So Eva is actually catching up with Matthew and telling her what has been going on with Austin and his archaeological stuff. And so they kept it. So the entire time they kept on talking about gold. So Matthew thought that they were talking about like real gold. And so he runs away before Eva could go, no, I'm not talking about real gold. I'm talking about metaphorical gold, which is honey. So Matthew like runs away real quick. Then Eva's helping some people out like on a tour. They're like some tourists. Oh no, she has a booth because it's
at the festival. Yeah.
Yeah, so she's at a booth.
Is this where we find out that he's been saying "I smell like fish" on purpose?
Yes.
Yeah. He says he knew it all along.
Yeah.
He basically looked at his
like, yeah, I looked at an app and figured out it was wrong, and I've been saying it because it makes you laugh.
Yeah, which I was like, oh, that's cute.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Like, make himself the butt of the joke to get a laugh out of her. And so, yeah, all these people were there. And actually, her stuff looked really cool. Like, she had candles. She had kind of like oils and all these different things. And it looked like cool stuff. It really did.
It was the bee's knees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so...
the buzz at the festival.
Yeah.
Wasn't the whole festival honey?
Yeah.
Honey and bees and stuff like that.
I actually have... So the funny thing is, speaking of bees... I have another friend. My former agent quit being an agent and became a beekeeper.
What?
Yeah.
That's a transition.
And so she and her husband have like...
Would you say that it was her plan B?
Yes.
Okay. Now, before that, Does she represent B actors?
Oh, or B. Arthur.
B. Arthur.
No,
but but the funny thing is, do you know who she used to represent?
M.B.
And this
Davis.
is true. Do you remember Bill Bixby?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was like her claim to fame.
Okay.
2 B's.
She represented Bill Bixby for years.
But he died. So then she moved on to beekeeping.
No, because I was with her after he died for years.
Okay.
But no, she decided she wanted to retire, and she retired and became like a beekeeper, and now her and her husband have like hives in Central California or like in Tehachapi.
Okay.
But they live here in LA, and they go to farmers markets and sell honey, and they make like really good money selling honey and candles. So there is like money to be made there.
Some of those Northern California people seem to have a good life. They kind of like live in the woods or up in a mountain.
Yeah, but it's pretty things. Northern California though, the boony, it's like really boonies though.
You have to like being isolated.
Yeah.
To live that kind of life. You're either going to own like a vineyard or
pot farm.
You got to live with somebody.
Yeah.
Like a pot farm like in Humboldt.
Oh, I know somebody who's up to that. Northern California.
But yeah, it's the funny thing is people don't realize California is a very extreme state.
Yeah.
And like up north near huge. Oregon, it's really like, it's like the woods.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got mountains and
You sort of think of California, you think automatically of like LA, but it's boondocks, it's white trash and parts of it. Like we have the entire gamut of America in California.
Yes. Oh. So he got his infrared machine working.
Yeah.
And so he took an infrared picture of the painting, and it was 3 nymphs, but they looked like bee ladies.
Nymphs.
Yeah. And so they called them the bee maiden. And they were the ones that like foretold wealth or something like that. But then this official person comes up because the mayor like went and I guess got in touch with the government.
Yeah, the Heritage Foundation comes in and swings their jurisdictional dick.
Right.
You
and it's like,
dick!
You can't.
Yes.
Right. And they were like, you can't be around here anymore. It belongs to us. Like, we're in charge now.
Yeah. It was kind of like the scene in any movie involving like police or detectives where like one guy's about to crack the case and then some other jurisdiction comes in and takes over. It was like that, but with archaeology.
Right. And it was uncalled for because the guy was actually being very respectful of everything, I thought.
Well, yeah, he's an archaeologist. He don't want to mess up the site.
Yeah.
We'll be taking over this.
So since he was now no longer to be now that he was no longer to be around this stuff, his proposal was due tomorrow, and he now wasn't able to do the proposal. And this is where he fucks up and cock blocks himself.
Yeah.
He says it.
Because he looks at Eva and he's like, because she was like, well, okay, can't you still do the proposal? And he's like, no, because I need access to this stuff. And he's like, and I could have done the proposal earlier, but I was wasting my time with you. And it's like, ooh,
yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
Ooh. And then she was like, well, I'm sorry you were wasting your time with me.
Yeah.
This
is getting action now. Can't take that back.
I was like, damn. So
he's right. No, I can't say stuff like that. It's bad.
But what I love though is she was like, okay, fine, F you then. And she just leaves and goes on about her life.
Yeah.
She should have poured a scorching hot pot of honey on his head. Said, take this. Is this a waste of time?
So then
she's hanging out with her sister,
And like this festival actually legitimately looks fun. So they were having like her sister like brought up an idea of having like a pastry, like a Maltese pastry competition. And her sister starts telling her all these ideas. And Eva's like, you know what? Why don't you just become my partner and work with me here? Because your ideas are actually really good.
She was kind of a moron for not coming to that conclusion way earlier in life.
Yeah. Because her sister really did have these good ideas.
Well, her sister had like an MBA or something.
Yeah. And so then also this is where Eva calls out, yeah, because I know you want to be here because you like the hot mayor anyway. So this will keep you here. So then, who discovers the old honey trail? Was it Eva? Because I just have here in my notes, old honey trail.
Honey trail.
Paolo talks about it. He mentioned something about the old honey road. Ava's like, I've never heard of that. Like all of these tales about honey and things like that you would think that Ava would have learned growing up beekeeping her entire life. She doesn't know any of these like tales. And she's always surprised of like, old honey road, I never heard of this.
And so then
what's that noise? It doesn't even bother me. I just want to know what it is.
Oh, they're doing...
Sounds like a train is going by. Oh, okay.
They're doing maintenance in the back. So it turns out that in this so then she gets a hold of Michael. Was it? Oh, no. Oh, the Michael's the boss. Michael's the boss, and Michael calls Austin, and he's like, okay, you need to get this proposal done by tomorrow. And then Austin's like, you know what? I'm not going to be able to get the proposal done now because now that the government has stepped in, I'm not allowed to be around this stuff anymore, so I can't do it. And the boss was actually cool about it. And the boss is like, well, it would have been great, but even though you can't do it, we still like having you here, so you still have a job.
Yeah, there were no real stakes for him because they painted him as being this very well-regarded professor. So even if he doesn't get tenure, it's not like he was going to lose his job. Like that was never called into question.
Right. He doesn't even need tenure.
Right.
It just would have been a better opportunity for him.
Yeah.
So then, so one of the things is like back at that painting, there was a yellow circle that they always thought was about gold. And it turned out that the yellow circle was actually not gold. It was the sun. It's supposed to be the sun.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So Austin is talking to, so then Austin goes and finds Eva and apologizes to her. Because he really did fuck up. Like, there's no way you could explain yourself out of what he said.
Actually, he doesn't go to her. She goes to him.
She
goes to him because she learns about the old honey road. She goes there. He's about to apologize. She's like, apology accepted. We got to go.
So then they see a bee, and then they remember what she said about how bees only go like a mile. Like if you see a bee, they're only like a mile from their hive. Like their hive is very close. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So he sees a bee, and then he sees a bee like walk in between these rocks. And so then they start moving the rocks, and they find this secret room.
And it should be pointed out that to move some of the rocks, they had Austin strip down to a tank top.
Yes.
But then Austin to climb into the rocks, he put a shirt over the tank top, which was a big fail on the part of the wardrobe department.
And we learned that Austin had been lying to us this entire movie because Austin had a fantastic body going on under there. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Like he had been covered up the entire movie.
Yeah.
So they remove the rocks. They find the secret room. It turns out to be a shrine. and there's a cellar in the shrine, and there's all this pottery going on. And they find this honey. And one of the things that we learned, I don't know if I mentioned this earlier in the movie, Eva mentioned that honey never goes bad.
Yeah, she finds like 500-year-old honey, and she eats it.
Yeah,
I think 5,000 is what they said.
5,000 years. She's worse than me.
But earlier in the movie, she's like, honey never goes bad.
Damn, must have been hungry.
Which I wonder if the honey and the bear go, because I always thought the honey and the bear would go bad.
Honey in the bear?
Yeah, the bear, the plastic bear.
Well, it's probably got preservatives or something in it to sell it commercially, so maybe.
It hardens up sometimes.
Yeah, it crystallizes.
Yeah. Well, this honey was good because it was 5,000 years old and didn't crystallize.
Wow.
She just like digs in with her finger though. Like they find this like this is a genuine artifact, and she's like, I'm chowing down on honey right now.
You know what? Okay, so I heard this story. So there's this podcast I was listening to, and they were talking about this archaeological dig that they were doing. And it was on one of these countries where it was in Ireland, where sometimes it gets so cold or something happens where it preserves stuff.
Okay.
So they were doing this dig, and they found this stuff, and they thought that it was milk. And so sometimes in this dig, the land gets so cold that you could have like 500. Oh no, it's butter. They thought it was butter. Okay. You could have it like it was like 500. They thought it was like 500-year-old butter. And so they started eating it.
Ew.
And they ate it. And then it turned out that it wasn't butter, that some bodies under there were decomposing. So they were actually eating human.
Gross.
So,
well, I wouldn't eat anything I found on the ground, except for maybe like a blackberry
or a cake.
Blackberry.
No, I'm not eating anything. That I find outside. That's pretty
like, oh, look, a blackberry's under here.
What do I get heat for like eating cake? I went to a family event.
Do you eat old cake?
I guess I saw a cousin I hadn't seen in a long time. He saw me eating cake. He goes, there's Kurt with the cake. He likes that cake. I'm like, damn it! How do you know this? You must listen to this podcast.
Maybe.
Right. So you have a reputation in your family for liking cake?
This was I don't even see these family members very often. I hadn't seen him in like a couple of years, but he's like yelling across the lawn, like, I know Kurt likes that cake.
People talk.
They do.
You have a reputation.
I don't know. Word's out there. But I wouldn't eat butter I found in a cave. I mean,
well, they didn't either, apparently.
No, they're eating some dude. I wonder what body part they were feasting on.
Oh, wait. So they find this box, and it turns out that they find this box, and turns out that they were transporting bees from Malta to Michigan.
Yeah. Well, that would suck to move from Malta to Michigan.
But what I was trying to figure out, I was like, wait, ancient Michigan? What?
Well, no, I think the mission, it wasn't directly to Michigan. They were transporting bees to the New World, and he made the connection to Michigan because he's from Michigan. So like,
go to Michigan.
But the box that they found was the box referenced earlier in the movie when he was giving his lecture in the class. So he gets a diary box boner.
Yeah,
all excited again.
He really did get a boner in that scene because he's like, "It's in Michigan."
Yeah,
he had to carry around the diary, like hiding, like when you're.
Oh yeah,
thinking about stuff, and then you got to change classes. Yeah, you got to have that book handy.
Because then Ava was like, "Your home's in Michigan." Like Michigan became like a big deal.
Yeah,
maybe it meant Michelin tires. That's where the bees had to migrate to. I don't know. I'm not a PhD candidate.
But basically, like what this meant was that the gold was that the prosperity that bees can bring you. So they were transporting bees to the New World, and that was the treasure.
Yeah, so gold was a metaphor.
All they're doing for me is biting me in the face.
So then this was kind of cool because they once again showed how much Hallmark has changed, because remember back in the old days, the woman or whatever would like give up her life, and like she'd either give up her life and stay in the town, or she'd give up her life and move away with him. And she was like, well, you have your career back home and I have my career here. It's nice knowing you.
See you later.
Good luck to you. Bye. It's been fun, but we've got to get on with our lives now. So he leaves, she stays, but then 1 month later, the business is doing very well. Chloe has like really, sunk her teeth into this business, and they're thriving. They're very successful. And we find out that Chloe and Matthew are together. And they're honey. And then Chloe made honey jars, and she was showing them to Eva. And Eva was very happy with how things were going. And then Chloe's like, hey, there's someone in the back with the bees and they need to talk to you about something. And so then Eva goes back there and it's Austin and he's talking to the bees. And so then we find out that his proposal was accepted. And so the proposal was accepted. They got the funding that they needed. He got tenure, and part of getting tenure is you could go on a sabbatical.
That's nice.
So he is currently on a sabbatical, and with everything that's going on there archaeologically, he's not only on a sabbatical, but he's supervising what's going on. So it's a professional sabbatical, which means he still gets paid.
Also, that's not really a sabbatical if you have to be there to supervise the excavation anyway. You're still working.
But I think it meant like he doesn't have to teach.
Right.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
You got to do something when you're sabbatical.
Well,
So
he's problematic in the classroom anyway because of all those boners.
Yeah.
Damn.
So he's like, I could have my professional boners here, and you're here to take care of them.
Yeah.
The end.
Wow. A lot of wood.
Yeah.
And so this movie actually snuck up on me, and I actually ended up really liking it.
Same.
Looks like a bee.
Yeah.
It was all right. I just thought the story about the whatever it was, the golden bees transporting themselves was a little complicated, like convoluted.
It was
like I said, I got the gist.
Yeah, it was a little convoluted. It felt like, you know how they create sort of a backstory if you do an escape room? It felt a little bit like that.
Bee story.
Yes.
Oh God, I don't do escape rooms, but yeah, that's okay.
Yes. Maybe Andrew McCarthy could have been in this movie.
Well, what role would he have played?
He would have played the guy that was like, "Hey, we need your proposal tomorrow."
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
The real step up. That's flattering for Andrew McCarthy. He could play that role. Well, at least you're thinking of him.
Oh, you know what? I do have to say about that what I liked about that documentary, I like the fact when he went and talked to that reporter, and the reporter's like, "No, I'm not sorry for what I did."
He kept at him too. Like he was even like they were like wrapping up. He's like, "You sure you didn't say anything mean?" Guy's like, "No."
But I like that because the proposal, the reporter was like, "I was in my 20s at the time, and you were in your 20s too."
Yeah.
And it did help. It made his career, the guy. So I was happy he didn't apologize. But anyway,
he stood by it.
Anyway, this movie was good. I liked it. And if you want to find out, if you wanna get a hold of me, you can find me at my website, letscrocodilebarrett.com. I'm actually flying out to Atlanta tonight because I'm going to be doing my show, The Real Black Swan, Confessions of America's First Black Drag Queen, at the Lavender Fest on June 19th, 20th, and 21st. And if you want more information on that, you can go to outstage.com. Jason.
Please rate and review and subscribe to our podcast wherever you've been listening to your favorite podcast. Give us 5 stars. It helps more people find the show. You can find all of us on Facebook, Instagram, and Threads at Lifetime of Hallmark Podcast. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Threads at Big Shot Jason. Kurt.
I will be doing my show, The Jester of All Maladies. Oh, this is coming up in like a month. I have to start rehearsing. All right, so it's at the very first Green Bay Fringe Festival, Saturday, July 12th, 2024, 4 p.m. and 8:30 p.m. And then Sunday, July 21st at 1 p.m.
And when I go up to Atlanta, Kurt, I'm going to channel you, and I'm going to eat fried chicken and eat some cake.
But not off the ground.
Okay.
No.
Be eating healthier. Yeah, be careful what you eat off the ground.
I will not be eating off the ground, but I will.
Gross.
But I will have some fried chicken, maybe some collard greens, and some cake.
All right.
Because I'm going to go to Candy. Candy, who used to be on The Real Housewives of Atlanta, has a restaurant there.
Oh.
It's called the Old Lady Gang. So I'm going to go to the Old Lady Gang. Well, I guess that's it. This is so crazy because I looked at my clock and I half expected to see like 8:15. And I was like, oh my God, it's only 2:15 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
I have a whole day ahead of me.
I got 5:15. I can spend my evening doing something.
Your evening.
I might watch that show, Your Honor, with Bryan Cranston.
Oh. Well, enjoy that.
Yeah.
And everybody else, see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.